intelligence and cognitive stuff. I really like behavioral sciences and science stuff.
I would go into the study of how our emotions impact every decision that we make.
Have you heard of the undergraduate research conference?
I think so. Yeah. I have.
Have you heard of Tea and Theories?
No.
Like, what is that? It's a live stream. And what are you eating today?
So I had some mashed potatoes, and then I also had some beef. I don't really know what it
We also have social media accounts, so you should follow that.
Okay.
It's going to be on April 24th. Do you think you're going to attend?
Is that a weekend?
Have you heard of Tea and Theories?
No.
Well, it's a live stream, and we also have an Instagram, so you should definitely follow that.
I'll think about it.
Hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are back with Chancellor Hardigree. Welcome for being here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. Very excited. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Let's jump right into the questions. So, what do you do around campus to students who may not be familiar with you?
Yeah, it's a great question. In fact, my mother frequently is like, "What's a chancellor?" There's an element of the academic continuity of what we do as a campus, right? The classes that you take, the labs that you're in, making sure that those support mechanisms are there, and at the same time that we're providing a safe environment, that you're fed, you can park, you can do all the things that you need to do, you have places to gather as students, that you have the right resources that are available. And so my job's sort of overseeing all of that. I kind of liken it to being a baby president. So President Law, of course, is the president for all of our campuses, and Tampa obviously is a giant space for that. So I am her delegate. I am responsible for this campus, and I report to her, and so I'm really trying to make sure that we are aligned and that we're doing things that support our students along their journey.
Awesome. What is your favorite thing about USF and this campus?
The people. Just hands down, it's an easy answer. It's the people that I get to work with, it's the people that I get to serve, and I really do view my role as in service to the people of the institution, to our community. I think about students as, look, you're along a journey, but what you're doing, what you're empowering yourself with not only helps you, your family, your community. It's an element of social mobility. It provides you an opportunity to always rely upon yourself and to be able to achieve. And that is your journey. I love the fact I get to be a part of it.
That's awesome. And I heard you're from Colorado, actually. I'm curious, if there's one thing you could bring from there to here, what would it be? A
little cooler weather would be nice, maybe a little more springtime. Actually, at my last institution, we created a brewing lab. It's a brewing education lab. And so we had an academic program where the students were going to become craft brewers and run breweries. And what I loved about that facility was that it gave a chance to showcase our students' work. We had a on-campus hotel and restaurant, and so we're able to let students taste the product, allow the public to taste the product the students were brewing. But it also served as an avenue for the local community. And knowing that St. Pete is such a craft brewing mecca, I would love to be able to have that lab space here.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I mean, I like the part about cooler weather because it's always so hot here, especially in like summer, 90s. So hot.
One of the things that was really interesting, so I was in Denver, and Denver gets about 300 days of sunshine a year. Oh, wow. St. Pete gets about 300 days of sunshine a year. And so there was surprising to me a lot of the similarities. People are quite surprised. The summer in Denver is quite warm. I mean, in the 90s. Yeah. And so here it's just wetter. And so that humidity element in the summer makes you sweat more, and in the winter makes you be a little chilly.
Yeah, that's true. About favorite spots on campus, what is your favorite spot on campus?
So my office oversees the Bay Area, and there's a water goat. Do you know where the water goat is?
Yeah.
Hopefully all of our listeners and viewers know where the water goat is. And I love just all the things that go on in that space. And the benefit of being on the second floor is you can actually see things that are coming in. So Aiden Cowley was one of our orientation and tour leaders a number of years ago. And there was one day Aiden's out with a tour of parents and prospective students, and I can see a manatee coming in. And so I text him, I'm like, Aiden, dude, to your right. He never saw his phone. And then the next day I can hear the voices because they're on the intercom, and I look out my window and Aiden's walking backwards looking at his phone because he's waiting for me to text. And I was like, sorry, dude, no manatee today. But being able to kind of see what's going on, the excitement, whether it's at the edge or if the Caribbean Culture Club is doing an event out by the water, or if people are doing things in the park, it's just this cool viewpoint of the hustle and bustle and awesomeness of the campus.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of manatees and dolphins here. It's pretty cool, the wildlife and the mix of city life and then the mix of wildlife and marine life here on campus. Incredible.
It is, absolutely, absolutely.
And I'm curious, speaking of life on campus, I mean, a couple famous figures around campus like Snowbird and Rocky the Bull. I just had to ask this question, which one do you think is cuter?
Oh, that's not a fair question. I'm going to get in trouble. You know, I am incredibly proud of Snowbird because that was something that I had an opportunity to bring to our campus and creating a campus comfort dog. And Snowbird's been such a huge success with the students, the staff, and the faculty that that we really want to try to expand that program. But it's really hard to beat Rocky. I mean, Rocky's at everything. And there's something about, I think, a mascot that brings out the inner 10-year-old in all of us. Yeah. So I'm not going to answer the question. That's really where I was going with that. You see how I hedged that bet? Yeah. Because that's just going to get me in trouble. Either somebody's not going to be happy. I will say, when you come into my office, in the corner over in the side are about 20 dog toys. And the first time that President Law came over, I could tell she kind of side-eyed, like, what's in the corner over there? And so I had to explain to her that I wasn't just, hoarding animals in my office. That those were Snowbird's toys. And Snowbird will come in, beeline into my office, grab a toy, and then you hear squeaking all the way down the hall, and it's awesome.
And then, what is the greatest thing, or that you would tell others coming to this campus for the first time to experience maybe USF St. Pete? What would you say?
One of the things I love the most about our campus and just the whole vibe of USF is that St. Pete's a place where you can truly be authentic and people will love and accept you. It's a place where you can walk to downtown. Like you said, you could be immersed in this really cool, almost an oceanographic nursery that's right off of the seawall. But there are 11 museums in a 1-mile radius of the campus. And with your student ID, you can go to the Dolly for free. And other, I don't want to say other museums because I'll be wrong on them, but I know the Dolly for sure. There's this cool hub of what goes on, but it's a place where you're going to get more authentic engagement with your faculty. Our ratio, student to faculty ratio is like 17-1 for the campus. So you get a lot of hands-on support. You've got people who want to pick up a phone and make a call to help you get connected with the industry that you're interested in, or maybe help find a mentor or an internship. And sometimes that's not something that can always be scaled. And so it's a very intimate, you get a private school vibe and feel at that public school price. And that to me is really incredible and part of the distinction of the St. Pete campus in particular.
All right. Thank you, folks. That's about the time that we have. Distinction and interesting. This is us. This is our campus. And thank you.
Go Bulls.
So if you had a research project, what do you think your research project would be?
Probably something to do with the rise of alcohol and women in writing in the 20th century American literature.
Wow. Intelligence and octopus stuff. I really like behavioral sciences and math science stuff.
I would go into the study of how our emotions impact every decision that we make.
Have you heard of the Undergraduate Research Conference?
I think so. Yeah. I have.
Have you heard of TM Theories? No.
Like, what is that?
It's It's a live stream. And what are you eating today?
So I had some mashed potatoes, and then I also had some beef. I don't really know what it
We also have social media accounts, so you should follow that.
Okay.
It's going to be on April 24th. Do you think you're going to attend?
Is that a weekend?
Have you heard of Tea and Theories?
No.
Well, it's a live stream, and we also have an Instagram, so you should definitely follow that.
I'll think about it.
Hi there, what can I get you?
Can I have a 90 degrees Celsius half froth goat milk cafe a la with two risotto, decaf espresso shots mixed in, freshly ground order, half temp?
Okay, and the temperature of that, our espresso machine, it's pretty like regulated. I can't make it any hotter. Is that okay for you?
What's the normal temperature?
I've never tested it. For milks, we only have oat, soy, almonds, coconut milk, and whole or skim milk. Which one of those would be good for you?
Just give me real milk, please.
So our sizes are going to be small, which is the 12 ounce, or the large, which is 24 ounces. Which one of those will be good for you?
24 ounces.
24 ounces. Alrighty, let me ring you up for that. That'll be $7 USD. Hello everyone and welcome back. We are still here with Chancellor Hardegree, and now we are going to be grilling her on her experiences with the Undergraduate Research Conference. So I want to know what was your first impression of the Undergraduate Research Conference, the moment you stepped in there on your first time?
Yeah, so first of all, I think that undergraduate research is so valuable and so important, and I was blown away at how many students not only were participating, but just had some really cool and innovative designs, ideas, questions, things they were pushing on. I love seeing the students. Some of them were in groups, and so presenting their group presentation, and so and walking up and down and up and down and up and down. I mean, I got my steps in that day because it was big.
There is. Don't quote me on this, but around 100 poster presentations this year. And from speaking with John and Rebecca, who were the main two leaders of the conference organization, that's definitely on track. So you definitely saw something akin to that around there. I remember my first time walking in, it was so loud because people are constantly discussing their research with everyone.
Have you presented at it?
I have not gotten the chance to present at the Undergraduate Research Conference because I always procrastinate until the last minute. But I've been so lucky to see my classmates' presentations and their work with my mentors, my teachers, and seeing what they get to do. And then I was able to actually present my own research at a separate conference as well, due to some help from my mentors as well.
That's awesome.
And the Undergraduate Research Conference definitely prepares students for that.
So if you could pick something you've done while you've been here, because I think you're graduating soon, right?
I am. I'm May 9th.
Yeah,
May 9th.
so
I'm walking down that stage.
Round the corner. I will be on the stage too, so I'll make sure to leap up and give you a hug, with your permission, of course.
Yes.
But so of all the things you've done while you've been a student, what would you have wanted to present at the Undergrad Research Conference?
What would I have wanted to present? Well, what I ended up presenting for my other conference was work that I had done with a fellow student, documentary work on just the general the internet and its effects on culture and conversations among university students and beyond. So that was definitely really interesting, and I would love to find a way to present that. And I know they're doing oral presentations now, so students will be able to have conversations outside of that poster format. I want to know which poster that you have seen that really sparked your interest.
You know, there are probably two that come to mind. There was one about the brown recluse, not the brown widow spider, which I knew about the brown recluse. I didn't know there was a brown widow spider.
I
knew
don't either. I didn't know this.
There's a black widow spider. I knew about that one, but I didn't need to add to the arachnid family with more information. But it turns out that these spiders are like 6.5 times more aggressive, and they actually wipe out the black widow spider group.
Oh my!
And so I was like, well, turf war. So that one was really interesting. And then the one that I think it was Stephen Brown had done for the transit system here, the PTS or PSTA, because his presentation initially was that the buses should be free for disabled veterans.
Yes.
And then Judith Ann Scorefield McLaughlin, his professor, got him to present before the organization, and they loved it so much they actually just made it free for all veterans.
Yes.
And to me, that element of an idea a student had, that they had a platform to present, that then they get to have that real world experience presenting to the entity that then becomes a real outcome. Like, that's the jazz hands of education, right? I mean, that one's
That
just
like student education impact on the local community.
It's a mic drop moment.
Yes, definitely.
Boom.
Very something to be proud of.
Yes.
Something to add to a resume for that student. Most likely. I had a friend who did a similar thing with food deserts within St. Petersburg, and was able to present to the city council on making food more accessible for communities, healthier food and groceries and things along those lines. So
people don't appreciate the issues of food deserts, and for people who live within that food desert, their primary place to purchase food, healthy food, is a convenience store.
Yeah.
Right. And how many of us are like, oh, I need some apples, I'll go to the convenience store.
Exactly.
And so that is really, really impactful and meaningful, and particularly for St. Pete's. That's awesome.
It was actually Ollie Lasco, who you have worked with many times on many things.
Was texting Ollie the other day. So.
He is involved. He's involved. And I can only hope that the undergraduate research conference really starts generating more students who are just as involved.
I hope
in that
if
regard.
he's doing a poster presentation this time, I hope there's a bowl of fruit next to it, right? Got a sensory element to it.
Interestingly enough, the tea that we're drinking today, someone had a research paper, research poster on, and they provided tea samples for everyone. I feel like more people need to give out samples. It's like Costco. But if students aren't handing out free samples, why should students still attend, even if they are not participating or showing a poster themselves?
You know, I think it's really great to not only support your classmates, to see what can come, right? I mean, you say, how do I want to think about it? So I think about education as comfort zone, right? Like, we all have our comfort zone. These are the spaces that we're okay with. And our campus eventually, you're a freshman, it's not your comfort zone. You know, maybe by the time you're a senior, it's pretty much your comfort zone. Every room in the campus is your comfort zone. So, but an undergrad research conference, that's not my comfort zone, right? So part of it's just stepping in to say, hey, this is space I can be in and I can own. And you know what, next year I could be here and be a part of this, to see the impact that it has not only on the students, but their communities, such as Stephen's project, to just get some new thoughts and new ideas. Wow, hey, I've never even thought about the brown widow spider. Like, you know, who knew?
Who knew?
And I don't know about you, but when I was a student, so average student changes their major 5 times, right? And so we have a tendency to nomad around the desert of knowledge, right? That's what the undergrad research conference is you get to go nomad, go look at, I didn't choose advertising, but I'm going to see 3 posters. It talks about people's perception. In the hospitality industry, there was a poster presentation I remember from years ago. A student had done, where do people's eyes go to on a menu? And that's where you put your highest profit margins. And so the boxes on a menu, how menus are laid out, where certain items are, relates to profitability. It's not that, wow, we really wanted to showcase lobster ravioli. It's that we can upcharge for this, and it doesn't actually cost us that much to make.
Foiled. I'm tricked again by Menu spacing.
Menu spacing.
Menu spacing.
But how cool to be able to go see in these areas that maybe aren't your academic discipline, but to go learn about things in these other areas. And if nothing else, it gives you a couple of, factoids for your next get together with your friends.
I definitely remember having a lot of interesting conversations with some of the group posters regarding like the civic classes, the political process and things along those lines were definitely really enlightening, even though they weren't necessarily within my major. But I did, of course, go and see my classmates. But I know you will also be there at the undergraduate research conference. Aren't you giving a little bit of a speech?
They will give me a microphone, and then people just look horrified because they're not really sure what I might say. I think it's so impactful to have these platforms for our students, because as someone who does the undergraduate research, that's something for your resume. You're going to grad school, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something that graduate programs want to see, that you've partaken in undergraduate
They eat that
research.
up.
They do. It's like catnip.
Yeah.
So to be able to support our students in this kind of way is really, really important. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
I'm excited to see you there as well, along with everyone else on the team. I'm sure is very excited to see you again, and we're definitely going to bug you with our camera once more.
Boom.
Yep.
Man on the street. I am your man for the day.
We're bombarding you. We're rushing you.
Okay.
You'll be
All right.
terrified.
Love it.
You'll be the scared one,
That-
not the students.
Very possible.
All right. I'm very glad that we were able to chat with you about your experiences at the Undergraduate Research Conference, and we're going to be seeing you very soon after these few skits and messages. Welcome back. It's like we just saw you. And welcome back to the Couch Miguel.
I'm back.
You're back, and we are trying tea all together. This is our first time we have had a guest try tea with us, and our last. Perhaps we will do it at the research conference as well.
That'd be cool.
But the tea we have today is from Yaupon Brothers, which is a Florida company based out of Crescent City. Yaupon tea is a specific type of leaf that is used by indigenous communities. Some of their tea only has Yaupon in it. This one has Yaupon tea, green tea leaves, as well as a blend of mango, papaya, and passion fruit and rose petals. And then I sweetened it with a little bit of honey as well.
Wow.
So this is our tea. Clink.
Time.
I already
Clink.
drank it, but
Okay,
clink
you know,
again.
you were excited.
You're
excited.
Yeah, I was super excited.
Ooh, yum. That's awesome.
It's still warm. This is magical.
Yeah. One episode we had it cold, like sadly cold.
It wasn't an iced
Some people
tea.
drink iced tea. Yeah,
It wasn't iced. It was
like
it was below room
Yeah.
temperature. But we did it. We did it this one.
I love tea, and I actually I have an espresso machine at home. So in the morning I wake up and I make a latte, and that's what I drink in the car on the way in. And then at the office I just do teas, and I just love teas, and so so this is great. Thank you.
An interesting thing about the Yaupon tea as well, the tea is reusable. So the tea bags, you can steep it multiple times,
Okay.
which helps reduce waste. All of their packaging is biodegradable and sustainable. So I really love them, and there's actually internships being offered with them for anthropology students.
That's awesome.
So yeah, they help our local students as well. So that's why I'm plugging them. Yaupon.
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 Yaupon Brothers.
Yaupon Brothers.
So, that is our lovely tea for today. So you drink tea and coffee.
Yes.
Do you lean one or the other?
Oh, that's a great question. I I don't drink coffee all day. I will drink tea all day, if that makes sense. So coffee is it's honestly it's the process. I have a frother. I put cinnamon in it. I have vanilla. Actually, I put vanilla extract in it. And so it's just this foamy, yummy little thing in the morning. It's warm. It gets me going. Of course, in Florida, this goes back to a question earlier. It's already warm, so then I'm sweating by the time I get to the office, and then I got to go inside and cool down, and then I'll end up making more tea. And it's just a day of blazer on, blazer off, blazer on, blazer off, because I can't regulate my body temperature. But with teas, so I used to do bed bug litigation, and
what a career move!
It's long and storied. Actually, when I first got out of law school, I was offered a position as a special agent in the FBI.
Wow.
So we'll
Into
have to
bed
come
bugs.
back on a different day and talk about that.
Yes.
But so I was working for the Southern California Health District, and Al Hom was the gentleman who had brought me in to talk to these different groups, and he was Chinese, and so his thank you the first time I spoke was a basket full of these different teas.
Ooh,
and he didn't realize how much I love tea. I used to go to the tea conference in Las Vegas each year, and there's an entire
There's a conference for everything.
Yes,
There's even an undergraduate research conference. I don't know if you knew.
Have you heard about that? It's
Oh
really
yes,
good.
I have. I know the exact date, April 24th, 10 through 1 p.m.
That's right.
Yep.
And everybody should be there. All 7 of you. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, teas are they're just so phenomenal, and there's so many different kinds, and how they're brought together, and sometimes how they're infused. And so, like right now on my desk, there's a jasmine pearl dragon tea, and one of my favorites is white tea with peach. So when you had the tropical notes here, I was like, ooh, yay!
I did it.
So
I looked through.
you did.
I actually snuck into your office to see what teas you have. I did some underground reporting. I did not sneak into your office. To be clear with UPD.
To set the record
straight. Set the record straight. This is not court. But even though you've had an amazing time on our campus, sometimes you need to spread your wings back into bed bug litigation.
Yes.
Or baristaing with
baristaing.
your lovely lattes. What has been, your most pivotal moment on campus? What is something that has really stuck with you with your time here?
I think, first of all, there are a lot. Like, I'm really proud of our Comfort Dog program. I'm really proud of the students for the undergraduate research, for things that we've done for them. I'm also, the hurricanes is a new space. For me, I was accustomed to, in Colorado, a little more in advance that there's a storm coming, right? And here it's fascinating because it's like being stalked by a slow turtle. But with Milton, and particularly the damage that happened to RHO, we did a $2 million remediation in 17 days. Students were the primary word out of my mouth hourly. And I know it was displacing for our students, but making sure that they had spaces, that they were safe, those with ESAs, that if they needed to come back to campus, that we had places. I mean, we at one point, I think we had 4 students who indicated they needed a place to stay that had cats. And as we had discussed earlier, I too understand the law of cats, and you can't put 4 cats who don't know each other in the same room. And so we had created different rooms and different vibes, and we're very intentional about trying to provide for our students. And I know it's awful for everybody. I had 43 faculty and staff who lost their homes. I had faculty who lost their homes who were sitting in their car teaching their classes. And so we created a concierge program, and of course, being from hospitality, concierge, created a concierge program for our students, but also for our faculty and staff to try to navigate through that. And so I'm proud of just how the team pulled together in support of each other. It wasn't perfect, it was bumpy, it was a natural disaster.
I would say it's definitely the first time on this campus that, one of the buildings got completely devastated.
Yeah.
So
Let's
definitely
have 6 buildings down.
Yeah.
Right? And they're not buildings that students are in every day, but that's still very impactful. And so I'm just proud of the entire leadership team as we've tried to navigate through this and to do it in a way that's least disruptive to our students and our faculty and our staff.
You're a really big people person. I noticed, like, you're always glad to be around people. Every time I see you, you're in a conversation or, just vibing it out.
You're saying I talk a lot? No, I'm just kidding.
No, not
I mean,
at all.
we all talk a lot too. We've been on multiple episodes.
Miguel. I'm from hospitality, right?
Oh,
That's how
that's
I
right.
got my start. My first job, I was 11. I started selling soft drinks at Sanford Stadium, where University of Georgia plays football. And I later
Did you have
moved
a
into-
permit?
Probably not. My dad knew the guy who had the barbecue concession, and I got juiced into the job.
It was a Nepo baby
Yeah,
sort of thing.
totally Nepo baby. I made $2 a rack.
Wow.
So rolling in the dough. But at 11, I make $150 a game. That would work. So I grew up in hospitality. I've always had 2, sometimes 3 jobs at a time. And so trying to make sure that people feel seen, that we provide spaces where it's welcoming, right? I mean, infusing education with hospitality to me is an expectation and should happen. And it's one that, if you're outside of your comfort zone, what makes you feel better? Where do you feel that you really can have more impact? And how do you be your best self? You're going to be your best self in places where you know you're seen, where you know you're welcome, where you have a support system. And even sometimes that support system is just a net, right? If I'm just a net, but I'm on campus, you have my cell number, you know where to find me. I'm your net. And if you're about to fall or if you're scared of falling, come let us know, and we're here to support you. And that is what I'm really proud of for our campus, is because I think it's the place where people do feel that I'm welcome here. Not only am I welcome here, I'm wanted here. It's beyond belonging. This is the place I matter.
There's definitely a lot of community aspects involved in a university and specifically a smaller university campus like this one. Even though we're one USF, a lot of what you've been speaking about is the special community and the special sense of belonging and inclusion that USF has brought for a lot of students, and that's something that's definitely been really impactful in my experience as a student through my 3 years. And so I've definitely grown a lot on this campus and had a really amazing time under your leadership. So
Bless you for saying that.
oh shucks, I have to kiss up to you a little bit.
It's like we're all heard. And a part of a herd.
We're a part of a herd, even as bulls, perhaps?
Yeah.
Wow. You really tied that in. I'm proud of you.
Well played, sir.
Yeah, last time I made a berry joke because we had
berry
berry hibiscus tea. So it was
We only
really
have
good.
you for puns. That's Miguel's role.
That's my role, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was wondering though, what is your favorite interaction that you've had with a student on campus?
Oh, that's a really good question, because there are a lot. Oh my gosh, there's like a flood of them coming through. I told about Aiden earlier. The ambassadors, I get a chance to go hang out with our ambassadors, and I've done some of that on the weekends. I've got to come to some of our Unity Club events and in meetings. I don't know that there's a favorite. I think you said you see me talking to people and I look happy and excited to be talking,
yeah.
right? So it, again, going back to authentic, that I am excited to be around students. I'm excited when I am able to connect. I don't always remember everybody's name, but I
How
try
dare
to.
you.
I know. Come on, lady. I try to, and that's one of the things I miss. As a faculty member, I had my own students, right? Students in your class is kind of your pod for that period of time, and I don't really have that because I don't teach classes now. And so, with each year, trying to come up with that pod of people that I know I can see on campus, and that they'll come talk to me if they have an issue, or if they just want some guidance, or if it's just to say hi and grab a coffee or tea.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are you going to be going to the May 1st late night breakfast? Are we going to be seeing you there? No. I hope we can feel your love from afar.
Well, I'm filming a video.
Okay.
And I'm doing a very special video for this one. And I'm so disappointed because I love the late night breakfast. I was very fortunate to participate in a program at Yale, a leadership program. It's our alumni weekend. We only get invited every 5 years, and I'm the representative for my class. And so it's kind of like I need to be at that one. And so I'll be at that one.
But you will be there in spirit.
I will be there in spirit, and I'll be at Celebration.
Oh, I will also be there at Celebration. I'll bother you there too. Constant bothering.
Excellent.
Well, we are so happy to have had you for our full show.
Full show.
Full
Thank you for
show.
having me. I really do appreciate this. This is a lot of fun.
And getting to share tea with you as well.
Tea and theories.
Tea and theories. You see it. You see why we called it.
and theories.
A tea and theories. You see
like
it.
it.
Finally, it paid off. Someone got it. Someone got it. I try to explain this to people and they don't understand. But this has been a great final of our conventional episodes. And we're going to be seeing everyone at the Undergraduate Research Conference
On April 24th.
Yep.
10
through 1
to
p.m.
1 p.m.
There you
And
go.
there will be lunch. So,
provided.
lunch provided. So you have to go. That's what college students love.
Yeah.
Free food.
Free food. Alrighty. Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.